In the bustling campus of Lagos State University in the late 1990s, Sidolf had established himself as a towering figure among the ranks of the notorious airlords confraternity. With his bold and extroverted demeanor, he sent shockwaves of fear and violence throughout the university grounds and beyond, leaving even the police on edge. What made Sidolf especially elusive was his uncanny ability to switch effortlessly between his dreaded persona and a seemingly friendly facade. His chameleon-like quality made him a formidable opponent and a master of disguise. To those unfamiliar with his true nature, he appeared as a genial and affable individual, his demeanor disarming and charming. This made him difficult to detect, particularly for those who were unaware of his hitman status. Despite his outward friendliness, his fierce commitment to the airlords never wavered. He remained a ruthless enforcer, taking out rival Cultists with cold efficiency while maintaining a cover of affability. To those on the wrong side of his blade, Sidolf was a living nightmare. As his reputation grew, so did his influence on campus. The airlords became a formidable presence under his leadership, their tentacles stretching far beyond the confines of the university walls. And yet, beneath his fearsome persona, Sidolf harbored a surprising soft spot for children. He enjoyed engaging with them, exchanging laughs and playing games. It was as if the innocence of youth allowed him a brief respite from the darkness of his own existence. The juxtaposition of his gentleness with children and his violent tendencies with rivals only added to his mystique, making him a figure of intrigue and speculation among those who encountered him. Rumors and stories about Sidolf's exploits abounded, with some hailing him as a hero and others condemning him as a villain. The depth of his duality made him an enigma, his true nature shrouded in mystery. As he navigated the treacherous waters of the confraternity life, Sidolf's facade of friendliness offered a tantalizing glimpse into a different side of his character, but whether it was simply a mask to hide his ruthless nature or a genuine expression of compassion remained a question that lingered in the minds of those who knew him. Sidolf's infamy as a ruthless hitman preceded him like a shadow, terrorizing the campus of Lagos State University and beyond. As whispers of his notorious exploits spread, rival confraternities quaked at the mere mention of his name. His fearless, audacious demeanor was further fueled by his signature habit of brandishing his pistol openly in broad daylight, a chilling reminder of his deadly capabilities. Sidolf's penchant for playing snooker was the stuff of legend. He was a frequent patron of the pool halls, always in possession of his trusty pistol, which he would casually place on the snooker table, a silent but menacing symbol of his power. His opponents, if they had any sense, would approach the table with caution, aware of the deadly consequences of crossing the wrong man. His invincibility seemed almost supernatural, as rumors of diabolic charms protecting him circulated among his fellow cultists. Amidst the rumors, stories of Sidolf's invulnerability abounded. There were accounts of attempted assassinations, where rival Black Axe members fired at Sidolf in broad daylight, only to watch in horror as their bullets seemed to bounce off his body as if he were shielded by some unseen force. It was said that he carried these diabolic charms within his body, imbuing him with a sixth sense that allowed him to anticipate and evade danger. These tales of Sidolf's indestructibility only added to his mystique, turning him into a sort of mythical figure among the confraternity underworld. His apparent immunity to bullets and his prowess with the pistol made him a formidable foe to all those who dared cross his path. Despite the dangers that came with his notoriety, Sidolf seemed to revel in the reputation he had built for himself. He lived life on the edge, courting danger with every step, but always emerging unscathed. He was a man who believed himself untouchable, a living legend in his own time. Sidolf's magnetic charisma extended beyond his notorious reputation as a hitman, for it seemed to reach even the heart of his sworn enemy. The rumors of his romantic involvement with a woman closely linked to the rival Black Axe confraternity only added fuel to the fire that raged between the two groups. Her brother, an influential member of the Black Axe, issued repeated threats against Sidolf, warning him of the dire consequences that would follow if he continued to pursue the relationship. Yet Sidolf remained undeterred by these threats. In his mind, he was untouchable, a bulletproof shield against any potential harm. His survival of 3 previous assassination attempts seemed to confirm this notion, further bolstering his belief in his own invincibility. The confusing of identities that led to the tragic demise of Sidolf's neighbor only added to the mystery of his supposed impenetrability. Some whispered that he was in possession of charms capable of creating illusions, preventing his enemies from discerning his true identity. As word of his bulletproof reputation spread, rival Cultist became increasingly desperate to put an end to his perceived immortality. The Black Axe, in particular, were fueled by their own frustrations, furious at their repeated failures to neutralize him. Yet, despite their best efforts, Sidolf continued to evade capture and death. He moved with an air of invincibility, confident in his abilities and seemingly impervious to the dangers that surrounded him. This beguiling combination of brazenness and mystery only served to elevate his status within the underground, transforming him into something of a folk hero among his confraternity brethren. They saw him as a potent symbol of their own strength and resilience, a figurehead of their cause against the rival groups. And for a time, it seemed as though Sidolf was untouchable, a man for whom the normal rules did not apply. Yet, as history has shown time and again, no one can outrun the consequences of their actions forever. For Sidolf, his hubris and penchant for living dangerously would eventually catch up with him in a most unexpected way. The tragic irony of Sidolf's ultimate downfall came with the realization that the very person he had trusted most, his beloved girlfriend, was the instrument of his demise. Reports state that Sidolf had arranged to meet his lover at a secret rendezvous, unaware that he was walking into a trap orchestrated by her. Surrounded by rival Cultists, he quickly understood the treacherous game that had been played on him. But instead of seeking escape through the back door, Sidolf chose to face his adversaries head-on. With unflinching bravado and his faith in his invincibility intact, Sidolf charged at his assailants with the ferocity of a cornered animal. His assailants fired at him repeatedly, to no avail. The bullets ricocheted off his body as though they were repelled by some invisible force field, yet their impact weakened him, sapping his strength like a leech. In a final, desperate act of defiance, Sidolf continued his onslaught against his attackers, his punches and kicks fueled by sheer rage and adrenaline. It was a standoff of mythic proportions, an archetypal showdown between a lone warrior and a vicious pack of enemies. In the frenzied melee, Sidolf struck his enemies with the fury of a man possessed, determined to fulfill his vow to bring down at least one of his assailants if he was to go down himself. Despite his remarkable resilience, the sheer number of his attackers eventually overwhelmed him. Beaten, battered, and bloodied, Sidolf fell to the ground, his body broken but his spirit unbowed. The news of Sidolf's demise sent shockwaves through the campus of Lagos State University, the ripples of his brutal murder spreading far beyond its walls. For many, the memory of the notorious Hitman was forever etched into their minds, a cautionary tale of the pitfalls of a life lived in violence and bloodshed. His infamous legacy, intertwined with that of the confraternity underworld, would become the stuff of urban legend, whispered about for years to come. The fate of Sidolf serves as a sobering reminder that, no matter how invincible one might seem, even the most fearsome among us can fall. And as the curtain closed on the life of one of Lagos State University's most notorious figures, the grim reality of the dangers of cultism was laid bare for all to see. In the end, Sidolf's story serves as a stark reminder that the path we choose can shape our destinies, and that the allure of power and notoriety can come at a heavy price. As the whispers of his deeds fade with time, his cautionary tale remains, a haunting reminder to say no to cultism and to choose the path of peace and humanity.